bros. First of all, I was muted, so sorry about that. Second thing second. As always, we got a few things we want to talk about. First things first, there's a lot of fires and crap going on in the western part of the United States. Send help, please. It's not a joke like it's bad. Apparently, Seattle has the worst air quality in any city in the world right now, and that includes like Indonesia and places in China and Tokyo, where there's literally smog all the time. So
That
that's
I
bad,
did not know.
Yeah, I saw a thing on it. I don't know. I was going through Twitter, a couple hours ago, and I saw a dude, and he's just like, yeah, Seattle has the worst air quality anywhere. And then next is Portland, and then San Francisco. So there's definitely smaller cities that don't have as bad of air quality, but Seattle is the worst right now. So please send help, send vibes or prayers or whatever you're into. It's really bad out here. And we're not supposed to have rain at least for another week. There's no rain in the forecast, so it's not very good. So please, do whatever you can to spread awareness or send help or do something. It's getting bad over here. I'm not worried personally, but it just sucks. Like, you can open up your window. I could open up my window across the room right now and just get insta smoke, and then my lungs start to hurt. I was at work today, dude, and my lungs were hurting from all the smoke. Inhalation is that the right word to say it?
Yeah,
inhalation.
Inhalation.
That's right.
That's a tough word. Jeez.
It is a tough word. I mean,
Inhalation.
I suck at talking, so. And another thing, of course, it's 9/11 today. So we decided here at BroTalk that we want to take 11 seconds for silence. We didn't really know what else to do for that, so we're going to take 11 seconds of silence, and then we will continue on with the podcast. That was 11 seconds. So, yeah, thank you for doing that with us if you did. It is definitely a tragic thing. If you don't know what 9/11 is, if you're too young, you should look into it. It's something that was incredibly bad back on September 11th, 2001. I'm pretty sure it was. Long time ago. But it still is something that rings true. Or excuse me, not rings true, but rings loud in a lot of people's heads. Sorry.
It rings
I got
true.
tongue-tied right there.
Yikes.
My bad. Anyway, let's get on with BroTalk. Let's have a good one. Let's roll the thingy. Roll the intro.
The thing.
I can't ever hear it, so. That went okay. Nice button, Dan. Thanks, dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Good old BroTalk. Good old BroTalk. Anyway, dudes, what's up? Hello, I'm Dan. I have problems speaking. How y'all doing today? It's Friday, my dudes. Actually, it's supposed to be, it's Friday, my dudes. Except I still have to work tomorrow, so it's not Friday. It's like Thursday for me.
Ooh.
Tomorrow's my Friday. So, yeah. How y'all doing? What's up? Hello, welcome to BroTalk. Here at BroTalk, we like to talk about video games. We like to talk about tech. We like to talk about some pop culture, mostly within streaming and YouTube. And then we like to talk about the good side of the news, which a lot of people don't do. So we got some good news today. I found some good news for us. So we'll talk about that later, though. We like to end on that. But, yeah, dudes, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. But first, of course, what is BroTalk without my two hosts to the left of me and down below? Even though it's not in Discord, that's what it looks like on stream. But below me is Chance. And then to the left of me is Grant. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you both a question at the same time. But here's the thing. I'm going to ask Grant first, and then I'm going to ask Chance. As soon as I tell you what it is, the first thing that comes to mind, you just have to spit it out, all right? There is no more, I don't know what to do. You have to just spit out the first thing that comes to mind,
We'll
okay?
see. We'll see what happens. That's all I'm saying.
Right? The first thing, Grant.
Yeah, the first thing might be extra questions to specify.
Okay, this one, if you need explanation for this one, all I'm saying is no. What is your favorite flower?
Orchid. Orchids
All
are pretty cool.
You had to think about that. I heard that.
Yeah, he had to think about that.
I did.
Yeah, I'm just going to reiterate. Sorry before we go on with Chance. Just to reiterate for those of you who are just joining in on chat. Yeah, the West Coast of the United States really bad air quality wise. Seattle is the worst in terms of air quality in the world right now. So raise awareness, do whatever you want to, send vibes, send money to try and help firefighters, do something to try and help because it's bad over here. And the fires are doing nothing but getting closer to big cities. So that's not very good. But yeah, anyway, moving on with Chance. Chance, I'm going to ask you another question, all right? I want to ask you another question. And here's the thing: you can't be like Grant and be like, and think about it.
I had to
All
think of
right?
what my favorite flower was. My
Well,
goodness.
listen, those people, listen. If you like flowers, then you have a flower that you like on the top of your head. If you don't like flowers, that's okay. That's okay.
Also, didn't you say right at the beginning of this that you were going to ask us a question at the same time?
I was going to, and then I decided that I'm going to change it up. I had a
You
really
mean
good
go
one
back to
earlier.
original?
Well,
Yeah.
go back to the original, yeah. Listen, I had a really good one today at work, and I remember thinking to myself, man, I better not forget that.
And then you ask us about flowers.
All right, Chance, listen. Oh, maybe there. I don't know, Grant's froze. All right, Chance. What is your favorite song?
That would have to be Wolf Bite by Owl City.
Okay, I respect that. I'm not a big Owl City fan myself, but I do respect
Well,
that.
I'd love me some Owl City.
Back in the day, he was a good person. His stuff's just too crazy for me. but
Too
I respect that.
crazy. Have you even listened to his
Too crazy.
his more recent stuff?
He's so
He
mellow.
came out with recent stuff.
Yeah, crazy my dying ass.
Okay, never mind. Maybe I have to.
Owl
revisit
City has
that.
always
Yeah, you
been
better.
pretty mellow. I mean, like, yeah.
Okay.
I have to suck
Alright.
down my.
Also, for anyone
Oh,
watching the
my
recording,
heart
I'm sorry. We just had a moment there where you didn't see Dan or Chance move for a very long time. That's on my end. I'm gonna get an Ethernet
Fat
cable
rip.
tomorrow to try to get a more stable connection.
It's all good. In little plot twist, I'm going to ask you another question.
Ooh.
Another question.
Oh yes, I love questions.
Did
you remember
your
Being
good one?
Interrogated.
No, I don't remember what the good one is. Do you think I'm going
Gosh,
to remember
dang
what
it.
that good one was? I remember thinking, man, this is so good. It's going to be so funny, but then I forgot what it was.
Man, maybe we should have like written that down or something.
All right, now I'm just going to ask one, and I want you to, at the same time, or at least as soon as possible, shout out your answer, okay? And here's the thing. Don't just imagine. So this explanation is going to be a little weird, all right? Just hear me out. All right, it's going to make sense when I ask a question. If you were able to do everything that you're doing right now when I ask this question, all right, it's going to make sense when I ask a question. If you could live in any state, but everything was the same, everything was, your life was the same for the most part. You're just in a different state. What would it be?
Just Montana. I don't see myself living anywhere else.
I would like to think that I'm like staying in Montana, but I know I'm not. So I mean I already know I'm moving to Utah. So
Okay. Here's another question. If it wasn't Montana, that's what I was trying to get at, dudes.
Well, then I'd probably go back to Washington. Honestly.
Okay. And then Grant, of course, is going to Utah anyway. All right. Enough of the
Yeah.
dumb questions. Bros, we got some stuff we're going to talk about today, all right? As you guys know now, Grant and Chance, they both have lots of qualities that I'm not sure if I agree with, What was your favorite flower, Grant?
orchid.
Yeah, see, I don't agree with that. I think orchids are meh. I personally like anything but an orchid. Anyway, we're going to move on. So
No, Dan, what state would you live in right now?
dude, if I could move to any state, it would be probably Maine.
Yeah,
I would
Dan,
say
no one
Maine,
actually
New
cares.
Hampshire.
Move on.
I respect that. Touche. I like that. I like the sauciness that Grant throws in sometimes. Anyway,
You're normally pretty quiet, Grant, and then you're
yeah.
just that.
Yeah.
I just feel like
like
Dan needs to be trashed more than
Come on,
just the
dudes.
clothes he wears.
You know
dude.
Dan would be fun of it.
Yeah, if you guys can see this, I'm wearing a wife beater and like one of the sleeves is almost ripped off. The wife beaters that I wear right now, I've had since I wore them way back in probably at least 6 years.
Well, he must be using that shirt a lot.
Yeah. I wear them all the time. And no, I do not beat my wife. If that's what you're
Okay,
trying to
no,
insinuate.
that was the joke. That was the joke I was getting at.
I do not do that. I do not do that.
No,
I might beat her at like a video game, but that's about it. I don't
Dan is
physically
a
beat her.
religious man.
Okay. Here we go. Let's move on because I don't want to get canceled over
Daniel's
something stupid like that.
Christian boy quitting
A
their choir.
Christian, yes. Let's talk anything and everything about Xbox, especially with the crap that's been going down today, or at least the last few days. So there was a leak. I'll kind of preface this. There was a leak on Twitter a couple days ago, and it pretty much said, "Yo, this is all the Xbox stuff that we know." And literally hours later, at 3:00 in the morning Pacific time, the official Xbox Twitter tweeted out, "Okay, we're not going to hide this anymore," and they just threw out the price of the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. I want to call that small Xbox and big Xbox because I hate saying series whatever. It confuses my tongue and I can't do it. So we have big
PP and
Xbox.
small PP.
Yeah, big PP and small PP.
No.
When we talked about all the Xbox stuff last podcast, uh, we did not have a confirmed price on the big Xbox, the Series X, and now we do, which is $500, $499.99. And then, of course, the Series S is $299.99. How do you guys feel about the consoles officially coming out, and these are what their prices are? Do you, and not saying that you have to buy them, but how do you feel just in
First I
general?
have to ask, what was the Xbox One's original price tag?
I want to say
Xbox
400.
One was 500.
So
No, it was 500.
So that means that the bigger version is just going to be the price of, like, what Xboxes normally would have been priced at, but the smaller one's way less.
Yeah, because the smaller one
Oh,
is theoretically it's about half as powerful in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, it might have a few bells and whistles that might make certain things look better than the Xbox One, but as far as I know, think about it as just like half as better. Not necessarily like actually half, but it's about
half the price, half
it's a
as
half-
good. I
half a
think it's
step.
fine.
Yeah, it's about half a step, if you will. That's probably the best way to put it. So I mean, like I said, some specs could be a little bit better than what half might be, but it's half a step upgrade from this generation to the new generation.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
How do you guys
honestly? I mean,
how do you feel about?
no,
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying. I think it's fine. Price tag wise.
How do you guys feel about the Series V?
I have
you
not
heard
heard
about
of
the Series V? Bruh, Series V. All right, so do you guys remember when PlayStation first announced all their new PlayStation 5s? They came out with a Wi-Fi router looking kind of deal.
Nope, never cared about PlayStation. Please go on.
Jeez.
I respect that. But when PlayStation came out and showed it, they came out with a model of it saying, "Hey, this is what it's going to look like." And they came out with two different things, two different consoles side by side. One, they pretty much looked the exact same, except one of them had a hard drive in it, and it had a little bump to indicate that there was a hard drive there. It just looked like a rectangle was added in the console on one of the sides. The Series V, which has been not confirmed but rumored, is going to be coming out, and it's going to be an Xbox Series X, but it's going to be without the hard drive. It's going to be an all digital version, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I read the rumor earlier, so hold on, let me go over and just make sure.
Wait, no, it's without the CD drive.
Oh, it's without it. Yeah, so it's all digital. Yeah. So the Series X comes with the CD drive, and the Series V comes without the CD drive. But it's still as powerful as the Series X.
Yeah.
If you don't have the DVD hard drive in it, you should try to smash some more stuff to make it a little bit more powerful inside, I feel.
But wouldn't that mean more money because you have to put more stuff in it?
But that's less money you have to spend on parts to even program the CD drive to be there.
I guess you're right because CD drives could be anywhere from $50 to $100 depending on the quality of the CD drive, and I would assume that they would use rather quality CD drives simply because of the fact that that's the only one. And
they haven't used a disc tray in a while.
That is true.
So the CD drive itself is like pretty well contained and high quality.
So I mean, like, wouldn't that just be like a logical step is to try to cram a little bit more tech inside of it if you don't got a CD drive? I mean, that makes sense to me.
I think while it makes sense, I just don't think that Microsoft would. Just because I think they're trying to just be like, hey, here it is. Here are your options. I don't think they're trying to be like, hey, there's... I mean, the Series V isn't actually officially announced by Microsoft yet. It's still a rumor. And so... my thought process is that they wouldn't like launch the Series X as this, hey, this is the best thing you can get, and then say, hey, just kidding, we also have the digital version of it that's going to be better.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying that this, of course, this is just a rumor. We don't know if this is true or not. There was some Twitter post and someone said, hey, this is a rumor that's been going around. Here's a picture. And a lot of people are saying, hey, it could have just been photoshopped. It's very likely that this photo is photoshopped. So there's really no such thing as a Series V. But I've never heard of this before. But apparently, the Series V version, V as in Voltorb, the Pokemon. But the Series V version is apparently codenamed Xbox Edinburgh. And I've never heard of that before. Have you guys heard of Edinburgh?
Nope.
The Xbox Edinburgh?
I have not.
I've not heard of that. I've heard of Project Lockhart, which apparently, or I shouldn't say apparently, which is the Xbox Series S, the baby Xbox. But I've not heard of Edinburgh. Excuse me, LaCroix Burt. And so to see the Series V coming out, or at least rumored to be coming out, it would be smart, I think. It would be smart because PlayStation is doing it. And if Xbox wants to compete with PlayStation, then I feel like they should definitely put out a console that has no disk drive. XD, hell? Okay, Chance.
Hell oh.
Hell oh.
I pressed enter before I pressed the O, my bad.
I'm very curious to see what's going to be happening with this, though. I mean, of course, like I just said, a digital Xbox would be good, a more powerful Xbox, but all digital is good. But we'll see what happens. If it was to go all digital, do you guys think that that's a smart move? Do you think that that would help against the quote-unquote console war with Sony, or what are your thoughts?
I mean, is there even really a console war anymore? I don't really think there is. But,
Personally,
I think it's just another gimmick, really.
I mean, like what Chance just said, even the Series S is kind of a gimmick. Personally, I think they shouldn't have bothered with downgrading some of the software and like hardware inside and just released what the rumor is on the Series V and the Series X. I think they should have just totally ignored the existence of a smaller one and just said, hey, here's the normal one, here's the digital only one. We dropped the price $50 on the digital only.
I don't think that's wrong. I think that your thought behind that is right. What about though? I'm just gonna come back, play devil's advocate, and come back and hit you with a question. What about the people though that aren't in the Xbox ecosystem yet? You know, teenagers, or for example, around Christmas time. What if there's a mom who's just like, oh, this cheaper Xbox, let me just get this one. You know, what if the Xbox Series S is $300 and the Series X is $500? You know, why wouldn't they buy the cheaper one for their kid?
I mean, my thing on that is it's all about performance, really. So I don't want a new generation console to feel just like a previous gen console. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I don't know. I feel like we'd have to get the specifications on the specs inside of it first, because I want to see exactly what's different between the two.
I'm pretty sure they have those out, but I haven't personally heard anything.
They are out. I saw a comparison list, and it was just like the One S had like less hertz or whatever, and some other things just like slightly lower, not necessarily enough that like it's still an upgrade from the current one.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's only
down.
Slightly lower, why does it warrant like a full like $200 downgrade?
I think it's low enough to where it's not. Well, for example, I'll give you this: the big boy Xbox, the Series X, it can push 4K graphics and 60 FPS flawlessly, is what they're saying. That's like their claim to it right now. Like that's what it can do. But the Series S can support 1440p and then upscale it to 4K and push like 120, a max of like 120 frames or something like that. So it's little technicalities like that, which I don't think a lot of people are really going to realize. I would assume load times are different. There's definitely more. I would assume, I shouldn't say definitely, I would assume there's less RAM in the Series S, enough to make load times maybe a little bit faster or a little bit slower. But I feel like for the most part, the Series X is one of those things to where it's one of those like, boom, here's the big massive thing that we can build. You're just going to kill it with this thing. And then the Series S is like, if you're on a budget, this will still kill it, but here you go. To reiterate the prices, the Xbox Series S, which is like the half step, if you will, of the new gens, $300 to $99.99, and the Series X, the big boy version, is $499.99, so $500. So $500 and $300.
And again, part of that price difference between the X and the S is the complete removal of a CD drive.
Yes, and a little bit dumbing down of capabilities, hardware capabilities. For example, the Series S is upscaling to 4K. So of course, like most people aren't going to notice, when it comes to 1440p and 4K, you're just going to be like, wow, that looks so good. And then the Series X is doing native 4K. So just a few things like that. Nothing super crazy. Yes, we did hear about the Series V chat. We were talking about that for a little bit. It's apparently called Xbox Project Edinburgh. But a lot of people aren't sure if it is a thing or not. A lot of people are claiming it to be photoshopped. And until we actually hear something, I'm going to not believe it. But I do think, again, to reiterate, that it would be smart, simply because PlayStation, Sony is doing the same thing. They're taking a disc version and a discless version of their PlayStation 5. And that has been out since we first heard about what the PlayStation was going to look like. Oh, all right.
Darn you,
ask
Bill Gates. Yeah.
Bill Gates. I want to ask one more question. Who do you think is going to win in terms of PlayStation 5? Actually, hold on. Let me retract that. Ignore that. When do you think we're going to hear about the PlayStation 5 prices?
I would say within the next 2 weeks.
I don't know. It's PlayStation. I personally, I don't care, but I'd probably have to agree with Grant on that. Since Xbox did already reveal their prices, probably in the next week to 2 weeks.
I would say Xbox already has their cards out on the table. PlayStation can take like a week, figure out if they can drop any prices on theirs to compete better if they need to, and then release it. Because at this point, there is no reason to wait.
Just watch PlayStation be at PlayStation's new consoles be like $100 more than Xbox's.
Yeah, they see the Xbox price and like, oh frick.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing. And I was listening to a lot of people speculate about this stuff. If PlayStation 5 comes out and it is $100 more, for the console, who would want to buy a $100? Excuse me, that one was coming up on me. Who would want to buy $100 or a $600 console compared to a $500 console? Especially if one, you don't know the difference between the two. You just know it's Xbox and PlayStation. Some consumer mom, who wants to buy it for their kid. And then also in this time, who has $600 just to blow on a console? Not to mention you have to get a new controller with the PlayStation because they said that you have to, all the new games that come out, all that stuff. It's like,
well, here's the thing. PlayStation diehard fans will and always will pay for the console's price, regardless of what Xbox is throwing, because there's plenty of PlayStation lovers but Xbox haters.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm just curious to see what Sony's got up their sleeve, because I have been under the impression that Microsoft is more in the games category rather than the console category, compared to Sony, which is more in the console category compared to the games category, if that makes sense. Sony cares more about their consoles, and they have definitely made that apparent, made that true with how they're saying we're going into the next generation of games. We don't care about the old generation. Everything's new gen. You have to buy all the new gen stuff. And Microsoft's just like, yeah, we're just giving you a powerful console. We don't care what happens. Have Xbox Games Pass.
Laughs in Halo. Exactly, Grant.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. I hate exclusives. I hate the fact that Halo before was a Xbox exclusive. I wish both consoles could have experienced it. I've always been a fan of, if a game comes out on one thing, it should come out on pretty much every other thing that it can go on. I think exclusivity deals, which is the main reason why I dislike Epic and the main reason why I hate Sony, for that exact reason.
I'm not a big fan of exclusives, and I'm also not a big fan of... Here's the thing. I would rather have console exclusives than DLC exclusives. I would much rather have it to where if I really wanted to go play a game, then I would of course have to go buy that console, rather than if I already own the game but I can't get a DLC because it's locked on another console.
You mean like Spider-Man?
Yeah, like Spider-Man. That's a great example. Like,
Spider-Man?
all I'm going to say right now, the new Marvel game or whatever it is, complete and utter dog crap for many reasons.
It's hot butter, man.
Dude, there have been so many people who have said that it is fun simply because of the fact that it is a Marvel game mixed with Destiny. But if you take that away, it is awful. I've heard so many people say that. There's a ton of bugs in the game. The loot system is way too hard to try and understand. Everyone says like it might as well have just like never made the game. From the general consensus.
with it being Marvel, I feel so bad about the Marvel franchise going downhill since the creator died. I hate that.
Yeah, I understand that, but here's the thing, and I will say this. Oh my gosh, actually, what was I gonna? Oh, the DLC. I'm not a big fan of how. Like I said, I don't like how DLC can be exclusive to one console. I don't mind. I hate it, but I don't mind waiting on DLC. For example, you know how Call of Duty the PlayStation always gets a DLC like a month ahead.
Yeah.
I hate that, but I don't mind that because at least I know I'm going to get it. I cannot stand when I buy a game and the DLC is locked behind a console wall, if you will, or a machine wall to where I can't play it because I don't have that console or that thing. I hate that.
Speaking of which, though, just for anyone interested, the open beta for Call of Duty Cold War will be released for PlayStation on October 8th and for PC and Xbox on October 15th. I know I'm excited because I pre-ordered it, so I'll get open multiplayer
you have
beta.
to pre-order it.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Well, it's open.
Yeah, it's open for those who pre-ordered.
Yeah. They'll probably do a non-pre-order beta after that. I don't know.
I don't think so because that only gives them like a month.
Yeah, I was gonna say that only gives them like a month, so maybe not because Call of Duty is coming out the 13th, which is 3 days after the Xbox comes out. I think I could be wrong on that. That's what I heard last. Could be wrong. Speaking of. Hold on, I need to pull this up because I'm super lost. Speaking of Xbox and stuff, how do you guys feel about the EA subscriptions coming to the Games Pass? The EA, what is it? Whatever EA's subscription thing is.
So basically, Chance, EA has their own subscription service where you can play EA games, and they are combining that and just absorbing it into the Xbox Games Pass without any extra price.
Yep.
So you're still paying the same for the Xbox Game Pass, but now you have the added benefit of EA game titles.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean,
yeah, titles like The Sims, Mass Effect, FIFA, any of the sports games.
I will say I'm getting swayed over little by little. I'm getting moved over to trying that out.
Think about it this way, Grant. Go ahead. Actually, go ahead, Chance. I'll say my thing later. Go ahead.
No, I already lost it. Go ahead. I'll think I'll remember it.
I'm sorry. Think about it this way, Grant. You can buy, for example, just hear me out, all right? Let's just say you buy these games. Call of Duty, FIFA, and let's just say you really enjoy playing The Sims. Let's just say you spend $180 on those games.
Sports games and Sims? Gross.
Listen, I'm just saying, what if there's... Okay, you want me to change that up?
Yes, I do.
Call of Duty, Flight Sim, and Cyberpunk, all right? Let's just say you want to play NBA 2K just for one night because you like basketball or something. So you throw that in there.
Because I hate myself that night.
Instead of spending over $200 for those 4 games, especially on one game that you might barely play, actually it's going to be more than that because stupid NBA is going to be $70 on the new stuff. You can only spend, what is it, like $9 a month or whatever, and then you can play all of those. And then when you're done with them, you spend, maybe $20 in 2 months? Boom.
And how much is it to have it on PC?
I think it's 15. Hold on, let me check on that because I actually heard a lot of people say that it's different.
Well, while you're checking, 2 things. Number one, what I was going to say was it's a consumer friendly choice to combine it. I love consumer friendly decisions.
Definitely.
And secondly, Dragon here brings up a good point. Dude, Squadrons looks really fun to play, and it also could be on the Game Pass, and that is something that I would highly enjoy because I plan on getting Squadrons when that comes out.
Yeah, so Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which is the one that you can use on PC. You can cross use it. You can use it on Xbox and PC. Is $15 a month, and they got a thing going on right now to where you can get 92% off, and it's $1. So if you're into that at all, and you think you're going to play games for more than an hour, it's worth it. So there's that. I heard about the.
Is there any sort of subscription with that where you could just do it on PC?
No, you have to do both.
Yeah,
I was just saying because Squadrons, I actually did read up a little bit on it. The developers of that are focusing a lot more on the multiplayer combat part of it than they are on adding new content.
I did hear that.
So I am very ecstatic for that because I hope it's really good. That looks like a really fun game to play with your friends.
The last thing that I heard though is that was going to be a $40 game, so that means that they're focusing more on literally just the mechanics rather than like the amount of content.
Yeah, well, I mean that's fine. I mean, for a space shooter, how much content do you want? Like,
Yeah, I guess you're right. I was thinking more of just like what kind of things are there going to be, because the last thing I want to do is spend. Because I mean, like here, it could be really fun, but I don't want to spend $40 to literally have like a space map and I fly around and blow people up, like that.
yeah, I get
You know,
that.
you see what I mean? Like have different maybe planets or something that you can fly into, or fly in and out of the atmosphere or something. I don't know. I think that would be.
I see. I assume that if it was going to take inspiration from anything, it would take the inspiration from Star Wars Battlefront 2's space battles, and then
Please.
refine those mechanics for squadrons. That's what I assume that they're doing.
That would be so good, because as much as people didn't like it, I think space battles in the original Battlefront 2 was like one of the best things in the game. I
loved it.
Excuse me, LaCroix burp.
I'm sorry, but the 2005 Star Wars Battlefront 2, best game.
It really is. That is definitely one of the best games in. I mean, besides of course like The Witcher, because I like The Witcher, but for a multiplayer game, I think that Battlefront 2, the old one of the best games. One of the best.
I would say Dragon does bring up a good point with COD barely having any content and just focusing on the multiplayer.
But I mean, it has a name for itself. That's the thing.
That's the main difference, I would assume.
Yeah, that's the main
that's
difference.
That's the only reason they're allowed to get away with not having content, is that they used to.
That is true.
I mean, for God's sake, you can play the game on normal in the campaign for Modern Warfare. The AI has like aimbot.
Oh my goodness! Have you guys ever tried to do World at War's veteran campaign?
Nope.
I tried a couple times.
It is agonizing. I remember doing that. Oh my gosh, I died so many times. Oh,
it can't be any worse than Halo 2 Legendary.
No, it's worse somehow. It's worse.
Wow.
It is so bad. If anyone wants a challenge, go play the like Call of Duty 5 World at War's campaign on veteran. It is so bad. It is so hard. Oh my goodness. You really didn't like the World at War campaign, Tim? Oh, I thought it was so good. Oh, I thought the story was good.
I replayed through that campaign a couple times. I thought it was pretty good for what it was.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. But then again, that was a long time ago. If I played it now, I probably wouldn't like it very much. But
that was also a lot more of a graphic Call of Duty, I believe.
Actually had one of those sliders. One of those sliders to where if it was like too much gore or whatever, you could turn it down and there was like no blood, no language and stuff.
Just as an honorable mention, Dragon mentioned in chat that Tom Clancy's Division is free with gold on Xbox until the 16th. He's got 5 days.
Oh, true. The original Division, not the Division 2, the original Division, which
hold
was
on
still
a
good.
minute. Now hold on.
I think it comes with all the DLC, right?
Here's the thing: is it free to own or is it free until?
Free to own.
Okay.
Free to own.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. The Xbox games with gold. I mean, you have to have Xbox Gold, but when you redeem that game or whatever it is, if you buy it, it's free, so then you own it. So you should definitely do that. You should definitely check out Epic Games every week. I have actually I have a section in my Discord, kind of towards the top, that says free stuff. I try and post in there all the free stuff that I find. So if you guys have any sort of, hey, you know, this is free or this is really, really cheap, put it in there. Preferably free, as it is free stuff. But hey, if it's a solid smacking deal, put that crap in there.
I will say this right now, considering it is Friday, 9/11. I believe it was last Tuesday. I think I might have brought it up, but Into the Breach is currently free on Epic Game Store. I'm not sure if it still is, but I believe it is.
Yeah. Check all the free stuff. Even if you don't think you're ever going to play it, hey, you might as well get it just in case of one of those days you're looking around like, hey, that looks kind of fun. So that's what I do, at least. I get all the free stuff. Speaking of discounted stuff, do you guys think you're ever going to upgrade your PC anytime soon?
I was actually discussing that with my sister's boyfriend, Cole, who is technically my boss now.
Nice.
I'm actually bringing over the desktop tomorrow, and we're going to do a little bit of maintenance on it. So
nice.
Ooh.
What about you, Grant? Are you fine with what you got?
I mean, considering that I built this like 3 months ago, right now I'm chilling, but I could see like in the next like couple of years.
Okay. I only say that because apparently there's a lot of the RTX 20 series in different countries that are going on ridiculous sales in preparation for the 30 series NVIDIA cards that are coming out. So if you need a new GPU, keep your eye out for that. The Asus and Zotac versions of the RTX series, there have been spotted. And this is just today. This has just started today, so it could be in the next few days there's more sales. But in the Philippines and in Malaysia, a lot of just like 50% off any of the cards are going on sale. So, I mean, here's the thing. I do think that the 30 series cards are a better value in every way, shape, and form, except they are very chunky. They're huge cards. There's a lot of 3080s that are being unboxed right now. So if you're one of those guys and are like, hey, let me go check out this 30 series, like I might really want to go get a 3080, go watch a video, because that thing is thicker than a bowl of oatmeal, dude.
Dan.
What?
Crazy idea. Why don't you use that tech channel you have and post a video there about it?
Tech channel that I have? I don't have a tech
Pretty sure you have a tech channel, do you not?
I don't have a tech channel on my Discord. I can't check because then it screws up the thing.
Hold on.
Among Us is so good, though. Among Us is good. I started playing that actually a couple months ago. It's weird that it's just blowing up right now. I also didn't spell it right, so forgive me about that. But yeah, if you guys are looking for 20 series cards, if you're like, yeah, I want to upgrade a card, but I don't want to wait for the 30, I would first wait. But if you really can't wait, get a 2070 or something. You might see more sales as time goes on, because apparently the 30 series cards are supposed to come out the 15th next week or the week after, something real soon.
Yeah, mine is already a 2060, so I don't think.
Oh, you have 2060 as well?
Yeah,
I got that. I kind of like it. I do think though that it's starting to already feel it, so I might have to upgrade here soon.
I must be the only guy here who has a 1070.
1070s are good cards.
1070 Ti. So yeah, it's a decent card.
It's a decent card.
You are right. You do not have a tech channel. However, you have a learning with Dan. So why don't you make us learn something and post that video there?
You gonna learn today.
Learning with Dan. So when I change up, so a little off topic. We're going off topic really hard this episode, but that's okay because it's our podcast and we like doing this.
Heck yeah! There we go, Dan.
That's
the spirit.
Yeah, that's right, dude. That's right. I want to plug it a little bit. Whenever I change my stream schedule, whenever I get my work schedule changed, I do Saturday, Sunday, Monday streams. I think on either Saturday or Monday, I want to start learning with Dan again. So if you guys want to learn some stuff, I'm going to start that again. So start throwing suggestions in the Learning with Dan channel. Also, The Witcher 3 is the best game. Don't let anyone tell you differently. Love you, Dragon. See you later, bud.
Also, if anyone wants to see Dan do the exact same thing over and over, you can follow his TikTok.
That's true. That's true. By the way, The Witcher 3 is getting a new upgrade with the new consoles. When the new consoles come out, The Witcher 3 is getting a massive HD, not remake, but like facelift, if you will. So that'll be cool. If you care about that at all. The only reason I know that is because Cyberpunk is doing great things, and I love Cyberpunk.
Dragon, this is not, what was it, health class.
Yeah, this is not health class. Just take a banana and a pizza. Take a banana and a sandwich bag. That easy. It's that easy, dude.
Banana and a sandwich bag.
I want to revisit the consoles again. Not because I want to talk about the consoles, but I want to talk about GameStop closing more than 300 stores. Well, of course, with the PlayStation 5 coming out, but let's just speculate a little bit. If the Xbox Series V is true, V as in no disc tray or whatever it is, or disc drive, so it's all digital. If that was to come out, do you guys see GameStop closing like its doors for sure, like in the future?
They should.
If anything, I could see GameStop turning into more of like a game collectibles type of store. Because they already sell like shirts, knickknacks, toys. GameStop has the infrastructure and the building and the merchandise to do it. I mean, if they don't sell video games, they can at least change up their infrastructure to do just collectibles.
Yeah, I mean, I would actually prefer if they did what Chan's talking about. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, like, I've seen some epic GameStops where you could go in there. They've got like a bunch of lightsabers, Funko Pops. They've got all these like statues and things. I went into ours here in Kalispell and there was freaking nothing. Like they just had a bunch of games, and there was like an Iron Man or a Captain America shield, and like some stuffies. And I was like, what the heck? Like I actually went in there trying to see if I could get either a lightsaber or like some sort of like helmet to add to my collection over there, because I mean I've shown like my Iron Man, Boba Fett, Clone Trooper stuff. So I was like,
Yeah.
I should get another one. But they didn't have any. Like, there was nothing that I was interested in getting. So I was like, dang. Like, I expected it to be a bit better selection there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as far as their consoles and things like that, like, I've never, like, thought, oh, I should get this game, or I should get this console, or I should get a controller, and thought I'll go to GameStop. Because, like, I just don't relate them to it. I just feel like they're, like, overpriced and kind of slimy as far as, like, game trading and things like that go.
I understand that. I think that... Go ahead, Chance.
Oh, I was going to say, because I like going into GameStop and purchasing consoles or, like, handhelds. I like purchasing used ones, because I like seeing if they actually wipe them, because there's been a few occasions where I've bought a used game system from GameStop, and they never wiped it, so I got a bunch of free games just because they were saved onto the console. I love it when shit like that happens.
Nice.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I will say this, I really like your idea of it turning into more like a retro style game kind of thing, or like a collectibles, because I know that, I'm not sure if they still do it because I haven't been into a GameStop for years, but I know that they did like phones and tablets and stuff.
They have no, they don't have phones and tablets. I think you're thinking of something else. I know that they had stands, like they like the one here in Kalispell still has like little game stands where they have the game system in like a plastic or like plastic glass container, and then you like test the games and stuff. I know they still do that. I've never seen GameStop do tablets and phones though.
Yeah, they did that years and years ago though. That's the thing. So I guess they don't do any of that anymore. I could see maybe tablets and phones kind of working, or like, I don't know. It probably stopped simply because of the end, or like there is an end life, or like the end of a life with a phone and a tablet, and it just dies and it gets real slow. So that's probably why they stopped that. But I think it'd be cool if they did like retro stuff. Like, I know that there's some GameStops. I'm not sure if they're still doing this either. I heard about it like a couple of years ago, but they do like retro stuff. So NESs and maybe N64s and like the old PlayStations. Like, I could see them doing retro stuff and being somewhat popular. I don't think that would save them.
Actually, Dan, I'm pretty sure they actually did start taking in old consoles, if I remember right, and then refurbishing them to sell. I'm pretty sure that is what they're doing.
Really?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure actually if you go to the GameStop site, I'm pretty sure they actually have some of those older consoles for sale.
I know that they were doing that, so I think maybe if they did that right, they could pull a profit on that. But I think like the Funko Pops and like just all the what people would consider nerdy stuff, I think all of that would be a really good change for them. And then if they wanted to keep selling discs, like they could keep doing that because it might be a little bit of income here and there.
Their used bin,
Yeah, like a used bin. Yeah.
I do like
they
me
do
some
that already,
Funko Pops.
and it's full of like skater games. I know the one here in Kalispell is full of that shit.
I just don't see with consoles a lot of with people offering consoles of a digital quality. Is that the right word? Like a digital type of console. I don't see GameStop lasting. It's crazy to think that it was so popular back in the day and it's just gone downhill because of the way that people wanted consoles to go.
Let me ask this, since you're bringing that up. Since you're bringing up digital consoles, do you think they'll ever reach? Do you think emulators could be a software that you could sell in a store?
I do not think that will ever become a thing unless if it is sponsored and or produced and or backed by the company of the
by its parent company.
Of its parent company. There we go.
A lot of emulators, it's not the most legal thing, is it?
No,
it's really not, because you're technically pirating video games for free.
Yeah. So
the only
I will neither admit nor deny the use of emulators myself.
The only way that I can see that working is if, let's just say, for example, Nintendo did a Nintendo 64 emulator. They offered like a little cube or whatever, and that was the N64, and they offered away like new controllers and stuff. But then they offered different games for you to play, and it was like you buy the $100 emulator, but then all these games are on there for free. That's the only way that I can see it working. But even then, people might have it like you could easily hack it to where you just go on the internet and download all the games. So I don't know. I think that's actually a pretty smart thing to maybe do in the future, because I know that, like, for example, Nintendo has the virtual console or whatever it's called. They have all the old games that they're trying to like port over.
Switch. Yeah.
On the Switch, yeah. But like even on the Wii, they try to put like all of these old games and stuff on there. Unless if they want to keep doing that with the Switch, I think it might be kind of cool just to have like a virtual emulator or some sort of emulator or something. I don't know.
I mean, you kind of said that if that was to happen, you would need to have it on some sort of like plug in, plug out USB drive, correct?
I didn't say that, but I mean like
Oh,
I would see it being as easy as you literally just plug your phone in. You know, like you have the thing and you plug it into the bottom port of your phone and it just like runs it. I think that would be something.
If it wasn't a software that you just downloaded off the internet, but a physical piece of like something you could plug into your computer, I could see that going over really well. And like you could even be creative about it, like where the USB part of it is on the like the end piece, instead of it just being like plain plastic, have it as like a little rendition of whatever console it's emulating, and like a little 64. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I mean, like that would be pretty easy for companies to do because, like, if you guys remember with the giant Nintendo leak that happened 2 months ago or whenever it was, they recovered a lot of ROMs, and like Nintendo keeps ROMs. I hear me out. I don't know if other companies do that.
That happened forever ago. Actually, that wasn't just a couple months ago because, like I said, I will never confirm nor deny of use of emulators myself, but they did go on a huge rampage of tearing down ROM sites of all Nintendo-related ROMs.
Well, here's the thing. I do know that there have been multiple Nintendo leaks in the past. I'm talking about the most recent one, the one that happened like 2 or 3 months ago. Remember that one?
Yes, I do remember it. I'm just saying that they've done it in the past where they've gone on these sort of rants and taken down ROMs before.
Yeah, my bad. I don't pay much attention to Nintendo. All I know is that in this most recent one, they said that a lot of ROMs were pulled out.
Recovered.
So I mean, like, yeah, recovered. So if most companies have ROMs or like ROM versions of their games, like it would be really easy just to load that crap up. But I don't know anything about that. All I know is that you can find sites to download the ROMs, and then you put it on a program, and then you play the game. That's all I know.
Listen, Tim, I gotta say, man, Tim in chat, I feel you. I really do.
Yeah, rip. What is it? Emu Paradise?
It's basically it stands for Emulator Paradise. It's one of the more well-known ROM and ISO file sharing things for video games.
And for legal reasons,
I do not confirm nor deny the use of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might not use it, but you can still like read about stuff.
Yeah, I plead the fifth, man. Just saying.
But no, I think just to sum up everything, if they did it legally correct, I think that would be a really cool thing to do. Especially if I could play a PlayStation or whatever, like the first PlayStation 2 or whatever on my phone. I think that'd be really cool.
On your phone?
Well, I mean, like if you can get an emulator on your phone,
I mean, I've never seen somebody run like a 3D emulator. Like for example, I've seen people run like an N64 on their phone and have it work kind of well, but I've never seen anything past a N64 ran on a phone.
It's probably just because no one's really tried it, let's be honest. I would assume that the PlayStation 1 or something like that, or like even the old Xbox, if you can do it right on a new, like one of the new phones, like a powerful phone, I would think that you would be able to get it. How hard could that really be? I think the hardest part would just be making sure that it doesn't like crash.
I think the worst part of that would be trying to make the emulator itself run well and not suck crap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like be cruddy. I feel they'd have to make it stable to make it run well at all.
I feel that. Then again, I don't know much about that stuff. I did mess with that stuff when I was younger because I didn't know that it was necessarily wrong. Because like, oh, here's an emulator.
Oh, hey, look, Mario 64 on my computer.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I didn't learn anything about it. I was just like, oh, this is how I guess you do it, and I was like, oh, this is the original Kingdom Hearts, and then that's all I did.
I just thought of something, and apologies if this is still going off track, but this is kind of still on the same thing of emulators.
Okay.
There are very many well-known speedrunners and Twitch streamers that use emulators a lot for their speedrunning. So if it is illegal, then why aren't these people being reprimanded?
There's probably legal things that go. So what happens is, for example, if you're doing a Legend of Zelda run, they probably are in contact with Nintendo, and they're like, hey, for our speed run, we would need this, through so-and-so organization. I would assume that there's something like that because there's no way that they would be able to stream that legally and not be thrown in jail.
But if they don't physically say that they're using an emulator, then they would then the company would have no way of knowing if they're inherently ripping their game.
I mean, if you can't tell from the stream, then they're not. Yeah. I would think that they're not bothering with it.
It's like
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, that just right there is what kind of like baffles me a little bit, because I know these people use emulators. I know a lot of people use emulators for speedruns, but again, at the same time, they don't get reprimanded from it, and if it's illegal, you should be reprimanded, right?
Well, I mean, you also have to remember there are some speedrunners who legitimately still use Nintendo 64s and GameCubes and Wiis. Like, they still have those consoles and they still have those files. So it's not necessarily wrong. I mean, like, there are probably, of course, some people that use emulators and stream it, and like, you don't know the difference. But in terms of like, you know, the games done quick or whatever it is, hit my disc. They probably have, you know, the A-OK with Nintendo. They probably have Nintendo help them send stuff. You know, there's definitely no way that they still have all of this, you know, or they have emulators and all the ROMs and stuff, and it's not legit. I don't think that legally Games Done Quick could get around doing that, especially with donations.
I don't know. I'd like to think that Nintendo just doesn't care, but because remember on YouTube when they used to take down people's videos of all of their games because Nintendo wasn't getting paid for it, and then they stopped doing that because there was so much social outrage over it.
Yeah, I remember that.
And now they allow people to do that.
Yeah, that was scummy, if you ask me.
I mean, it's kind of like when Fine Bros tried to trademark React. Like, it doesn't make sense.
I don't know that story.
I remember that. I actually really do, because I'm pretty sure that iDubbbz did a video on the Vine Brothers because of that.
iDubbbz.
I love iDubbbz. I really do.
Jeez.
Good old iDubbbz.
Oh, goodness. What was next on the list? Because we went off on a little track there.
What's next on the list is make sure you drink LaCroix because it's good.
So actually, next on the list is the Ubisoft they had the Ubisoft Forward like a while back, and that one had like a bunch of cool announcements and everything, and they had another one like today or yesterday, something like that.
Yesterday, yeah.
And it was It was very like, I mean, they didn't offer any rewards for watching it this time, probably because last time they crashed and had to give it to everyone, and then. I mean, yeah, it was just kind of a whatever. Here's a couple of updates, not really like anything that important. The most focused thing, as far as I could tell, was Immortals Fenyx Rising, which is a new game coming out, and it looks to me like it's just Fable-hatted baby with Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Oh,
I never touched Fable, nor have I ever touched Assassin's Creed. So
Fable 3, I played a lot. I have the game guide for Fable 3.
Yikes. See, I never played Fable.
Never touched Fable, never touched Assassin's Creed. I know I'm probably a heathen for saying that.
So, here's the thing. And y'all can yell at me as much as you want, and those of you listening, if you really hate what I'm about to say, sucks to be you, I guess. But Assassin's Creed 3, the third one that takes place in like colonial America, was one of the best. Minus the Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, the best one, but very, very close second is the third one. If you don't play anything else, that's fine, because the rest of them suck. 2 or 3 and 4 are my favorite.
Tim. Unsub. Never watching it.
Cringe. Yeah. Black Flag was good in my opinion. I thought it was fun. I tried to... Actually, I shouldn't say speed ran. My brother and I both started at the same time, and the first one to 100% the game would win, and I won. So I like that one. It was also just fun because it was new for its time.
Isn't Fable getting a new game here soon?
It was announced, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know when, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure that they were having it in development, and then I know for a fact that is Valhalla out yet, or is that coming out this December?
It's coming out actually the 10th, or it's coming out the same day as the Xbox.
Yeah. So November, what day is it again?
I don't know, but I'm stoked about that one. I'll probably pre-order that.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah.
I probably won't play it just because I'll be playing Cyberpunk whenever that comes out, and I don't want to buy Valhalla and then. Yeah, go ahead.
No, Grant, did you play Odyssey? Yes. I heard that game was hot doo-doo.
It was not.
Yeah.
People who say that are actually the hot doo-doo. So
Okay.
okay, I will say.
Right, so if you hate Assassin's Creed Odyssey,
Yes, you're hot doo doo, like microwaved doo doo. So anyways, so Assassin's Creed 2 was the first one that I ever played, and I really enjoyed that. And then I played Odyssey. Like I took a giant hiatus. I played like a tiny bit of Black Flag, a tiny bit of like a couple others, but I never owned them, so I didn't like really play them. And then Odyssey I got, and I played the heck out of that. Like that was all I played. I think most of January into like almost March, which is when I started playing with y'all on like Modern Warfare. And so that's when that like transition happened. But I loved Odyssey, but it was not an assassin game.
It was more of an RPG kind of.
Yeah.
It was more like a Skyrim.
Yeah, it wasn't really like an Assassin's Creed, but yeah. I absolutely loved it so much.
Well, if that's the case, then isn't Valhalla basically going down the same road as Odyssey? So
but if I loved
they're not
Odyssey,
really assassin games anymore. They're open world RPG games.
And that's okay with me. I just want them to get rid of the whole Abstergo and like just I want it to just because every time that I was playing Odyssey and it switched me into the modern day like Layla or whatever her face is, I hated those parts so much. It felt like felt like my game was actually being disrupted.
Yup. It was literally the worst, stupidest thing. It was like an idiot had a baby with another idiot, and they had a double idiot baby, and that idiot baby had another idiot baby, and that triple idiot baby made that game.
I feel like this is going into chance levels of territory. What you're saying here.
I have to grab something on the Assassin's Creed topic, so I'll be just
okay. All right.
Okay. I will say this though, in terms of Assassin's Creed, I understand that like here's the thing, it's a very recycled game, and they really weren't. Just hear me out. Like they weren't good after they just kept recycling the same thing. But I will say that for what 3 and 4 were, 4 changed it up a lot, and it was great in my opinion. I just like 3 a lot because of the story. It felt really good. But when they came out with Odyssey and stuff, I was like, nah, bro, it's not fun. I beat it. I didn't like it.
Just for the people who are true fans, it's Ezio's sword from AC2.
Okay, that's actually pretty sick.
It's one of my most prized things.
See,
that's pretty cool.
The only one that I've heard that was good was Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
That one got a lot of praise. I didn't really like so they had like 1, 2, and 3, which were like the main 3, and then they had Brotherhood and 1 or 2 others that were kind of like a different. It took place. Gosh, what was it? I can't remember exactly what it was, but I didn't like those. But people liked them more.
Ooh,
Guess what, fellas? AC2 was bad.
I'm disowning Tim.
In that game. AC2 I didn't really like.
So which one was Brotherhood? Like what number Assassin's Creed was that?
I don't know if Brotherhood or like I don't think anything after like I don't know. Some of them just don't have numbers, man.
Like, they just have names.
They're just in there.
Time they are.
All I'm saying is that 1, LaCroix is good, and 2, I don't have a lot of oomph for Valhalla. Even though I like Vikings.
I was gonna say, like, at that point, it's like, do you like Roman time in Odyssey, or do you like Vikings?
No.
It's like
Vikings. But I mean, the thing is that they're taking the same model from the last 2 Assassin's Creed games that came out, the like open world kind of thing, and they're using that. And I don't like that.
But what's wrong with open world though?
There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't think that Assassin's Creed did it very well in the 2 most recent games. I thought that it just wasn't done very well.
You prefer like what 2K Stormy here in our chat says. You prefer at least he says Ezio trilogy, basically, like the first couple games.
Yeah,
you prefer a more linear type of thing with Assassin's Creed.
I'll agree on one part of that. I didn't like how much travel there was in between stuff in Odyssey.
Yeah, that's what I
because the map is flipping massive. Yeah, and so there was just a little too much traveling in between stuff.
Okay.
Here's the thing. So like Assassin's Creed 3 and stuff and 4. I mean, 4 kind of was open world. You traveled on the ship to the different areas, or you could fast travel. So I mean, like, sorry, LaCroix burp. So technically speaking, like it was open world, but like the open world aspect in the new ones, it just it's so big and there's so much travel. I couldn't stand it. There was too much walking, not enough slicing and dicing and assassinating. So
Slicing and dicing. What do you want this to be, a beat 'em up game?
come on, dude. I just want to assassinate some guys. I just want to walk up and be like, sucks to suck, and stab them in the gut.
Streets of Rage, Assassin's Creed Edition.
I will say, one of my favorite parts of Assassin's Creed 4, and we can move on after this if you guys are done with Assassin's Creed, but my favorite part of Assassin's Creed 4 was sitting on the pirate ship. All right, kind of like zoomed out a little bit, and they were singing songs, and there was waves crashing and sharks and whales and stuff. I loved that.
I
That
follow
was so
Sea
cool
Shanty
to me.
Spotify just for that
Do you
feel.
really?
Heck
that's
yeah.
so cool. I have to look at that.
Sea Shanty.
Goodness.
Sea shanties are just so. It's a different feeling.
good.
It's interesting listening to both your guys' opinions on Assassin's Creed, considering I'm someone who's never played a single one of them.
To be honest, like you're not missing much, but if you want a game to play, Assassin's Creed isn't bad. It's definitely like there are some good parts to. So the beginning parts of Assassin's Creed are always boring. Once you hit middle game to end, it's actually like there's some pretty good parts in that game.
Well, I'll end
any
this
of the games.
conversation off with this question here. Between both of you, and you both have if you both have your own answer, obviously you both have a favorite. Which one would you guys recommend a brand new Assassin's Creed guy go into game wise? Which one?
Assassin's Creed 4,
Odyssey.
Black Flag.
So okay, so Dan says 4, and you say Odyssey.
I think there's like, I mean, it's Black Flag. You're going to expect a lot of ship mechanic and like being on your ship.
Mhm.
That's probably my least favorite thing was
I
being on
understand
the
that.
ship.
It was kind of clunky. I thought it was fun though.
I would not recommend Origins, but personally, like I've heard a lot of good things about Origins. I really have, but I played Odyssey and then tried to play Origins, and I hated Origins. I could not even finish like 4 missions. But Odyssey,
Okay.
I can go back, I can mess around, I can play some more.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll keep this in mind in case I ever have some
Yeah.
cash flow again.
All I'm saying is that we just got to play more Stellaris. Speaking of Stellaris,
What?
go ahead, Chance. Go ahead.
No,
I was gonna
no.
move
Go
on.
ahead. I was gonna
I was
be
going
like,
to move
okay.
us on. I was going to move us on.
All right. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Chance, tell me what games you're playing this week. 'Cause
Bannerlord.
we're done.
I've been way too heavily invested in Bannerlord the past week, and that's pretty much all I've been playing except for MechWarrior Online. I've kind of put Modern. I need to take a break from Modern Warfare. It made me so mad that one time you and me were playing, and I got bottom of the leaderboard every single game.
I respect that. I was pretty mad at that one too. Not gonna lie. Grant,
Just Modern Warfare.
please enlighten me. What
That
are you
is
playing?
that is everything
Just
I've been
Modern
playing.
Warfare.
All right.
It's just
Dan,
Modern
What are
Warfare.
you playing? Just Modern Warfare.
And if
I've been
Tim was
playing Modern
here,
Warfare.
he would also say Modern Warfare.
That's true. Rip Tim, by the way. As you all know, there's only 3 of us here right now. You have not either seen Tim or heard from Tim in a while. His PC is still dead, and I don't know when he's coming back.
And just to clarify, we have 2 Tims that we're referring to here. There's the Tim in our chat, and then there's the Tim that we podcast with.
Yeah, Tim in chat is Adapto Turd Tim, but when other Tim, the Tim that we host with, isn't here, then I call Adapto Turd Tim, because then it's
Okay.
easier. So if you guys don't, I'm the first Tim. You're the British Tim. Let's
The
go
British
with that, the British Tim, because I knew Bald Tim
Tea and
first.
crumpets.
Team. That was a good one. That laugh that came out of me, it was not something I've ever heard before. Yikes.
Jeez.
I've been playing Call of Duty simply because I need to get the battle pass done. When I finish the battle pass, then I'm able to get enough COD points to then buy that battle pass, to then get enough COD points to then start buying the next season's battle pass and the next season's battle pass. That makes sense. So I have to
Dude,
finish this one.
I bought season 2 and I haven't paid for a single battle pass since.
Here's the thing, I haven't paid for a single battle pass. I'm gonna get it for free at the end of this season, so suck my nuts.
Good, you chud.
Jeez.
I've also been playing Stellaris by myself. I've been doing a single player campaign. Okay, I'm just gonna say this. I created an empire called
Finger tough, bro.
You're tough, bro. I like how Chance didn't hear that, so I'm not gonna repeat that. So I've been doing single player Stellaris. It's been fun. I've been crapping on kids, and then I've been playing the stock market again. Stock market's been super red. If you're watching stock market, dude, stay out of it right now. I think we're doing some pullbacks to try and get us into some some more realistic territory. So that is that. You think you're tough, bruv? Bruh, here's the thing. I love listening to Brits try and like come back at something because it sounds exactly like that. It kills me. I listen to the IGN UK podcast, and sometimes when they just like they meme on each other all the time, and whenever they go at it, I'm just like, bro, this is just classic Englishmen right here. It's so funny.
Like, you
so
fucking
funny.
wanker, you're gonna get your knickers in a twist.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
Yeah. All right, so that's all we got. Do you guys have anything to say about anything that we talked about? Any closing thoughts before we go into the good news? Because I got some good news.
I'm ready for some good news.
What the?
I think Chance is ready for some good news too. I mean, he's got food. He's good.
I'm like holding a like super hot plate. I am sorry.
All right, you think you're tough?
No,
bruv?
I don't think I'm tough.
All right, so we got two things. The first thing is this. This one really only applies to the United States, but I thought it was kind of cool because I've never heard of this before. Old Navy. Hold on, I want to restart. We're going to start over. I want to backtrack a little bit. Here at the BroTalk podcast, we like to try and end on good news because after we finish all the stuff that we talk about, all the topics and the memes and stuff, we like to try and end on some good news because the world kind of sucks right now. And listening to good news, I feel like, is good. It really helps you just get joyful, if you will. That's the best I got. Did that work? I mean, I'm not gonna run take two anyway. Good news, the podcast is ending. All right, there we go. Good news, it's ending. All right. Anyway, that was a good one, Tim. I like that. I want to keep that. I want to keep that in the back of my mind. So we have two articles of good news. First article really only deals with the states, and then the second article is a little more. It's more states. I'll just spoil it. It's both part of the states. So first is Old Navy, Target. A few other places are paying employees for time off to go vote and work at the polls, which I thought was really cool. I've never seen that before. I've never seen a company do anything like that, and so I think it's great to try and encourage people to vote, especially with the presidential election coming up in 2 months.
Yep.
2 months, just shy of 2 months. So if you work at Target or something like that, that's pretty lit. You can get paid to go work at the polls, and you're doing the United States work. You're doing God's work right there.
Hold on a second. That being said, what's Trump on it? What's Trump's term right now?
He's on his first term.
Okay, so he can go one more time before.
He can go one more time, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the other thing, of course, as we've said at the beginning, and as we have said kind of in the middle, there's a lot of fires here in the United States on the western side of the states. California, Oregon, and Washington are like up in smoke. It's really bad here. Apparently, Seattle has the worst air pollution, air quality in the entire world. So that kind of sucks, especially because, I live there. But 200 people were saved in California after being declared beyond the ability to save in California. So there comes a point in time where people, like, the fires are just so bad. If you don't evacuate, like, you're kind of stuck. And 200 people were pronounced, hey, we can't save you, but they were actually able to be saved. So that's awesome. And then California is starting to like kind of change that stuff up to focus more on saving and rather than just fire control, which, I mean, that's what Oregon's doing as well. So you kind of have to just roll the punches, if you will. But that's awesome. 200 people's lives have been saved because of awesome firefighters. 2 firefighters are lit. That's all I'm going to say. Firefighters are... They should be paid tremendous amounts of money right now. Stupid amounts of just dummy money. Like, just take all of it because of the amazing work that you're doing right now. Again,
the only thing that's lit right now is my mouth, and it's burning.
Okay, Chance. Yikes. But yeah, work at the polls, or is that north or south? Okay, yikes.
Oh, hot.
2020 is very crazy, though. I will say that. It's a crazy year, but hopefully we can try and find the good in it and try and report some of it to you guys. If you have any good news, I will say this. If you have any good news or you want us to say anything in the podcast, please give us anything that you want us to say. Good news or anything else that you want us to say.
Jeez, Dan, you make it sound desperate for news.
Yeah. And in the BroTalk section of my podcast, or of my Discord. Holy crap, my brain is going a million miles an hour. So, yeah, if you guys have good news, let us know, especially if it's in your area of the world. We would be more than happy to share it to everyone. I am butchering this today.
Good news, man.
We need to stop
Dan found out
this.
who's a boy today.
Good news, it's a boy, bro. I mean, that's true. Yep, it's a boy. All right. Anyway. Anyway, thank you all for being here. We hope you had a good time. And dank memes, it's great. You know, I enjoy doing the podcast with you guys. Thanks for doing it each week, every twice a week, twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 p.m. Pacific time. And yeah, that's all we got. You guys have any closing thoughts?
My only closing thought is Tim. I always pronounce it that way.
Pokimane?
Pokimane.
Yeah, dude, Chance out here. I mean, I used to eat all the time. I'm gonna start eating back on stream again when I have more time. Just be ready for it, Tim. I'm gonna be eating on stream.
Fine.
What?
I eat in like over half of our podcasts.
That's fine, I guess. I mean, I don't know what to say to that, but I guess that's fine.
Keeps his mouth busy with something other than chance moments.
Yeah, exactly. Something other than chance moments.
I mean, chat, do we want some more chance moments?
No, we don't.
We don't want chance moments.
Definitely not.
Those are the things that get us in trouble, and the things that then we have to put an explicit not safe for work label thing on the podcast, and we don't want that.
Listen, that's chat's decision.
No, Chance, that is not. That is your decision, but I make that decision for you. All right, that's what happens. Anyway.
I could use $500, Tim. I'm just saying.
Ooh. All I'm saying is thank you guys for being here. We do appreciate you. That's our podcast. That's a BroTalk podcast. Thank you for being here. Again, we do this every Tuesday and Friday from 6 p.m. Pacific time to whenever we feel like ending. So probably like 7:30 Pacific time. It's about an hour and a half, give or take a little bit every episode. If you do not know, we actually have this available on Pocket Casts and Spotify. We are working to get on Google and iTunes. It's taken a while because they suck. I don't understand. They have to do a bunch of crap. But yeah, that's yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be on there soon, and when it is up there, I will then let you all know in the BroTalk section of my Discord. But yeah, thank you all for being here. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, give it a like, give it a dislike, let us know why. We always like to have criticism, all that fun stuff. If you're listening to this on Spotify or whatever, give us a star or 5 or whatever, you know, whatever you feel like we deserve. Give us that rating. Let us know how bad we are or how good we are. That's why I led with bad. And we will keep doing this for you. This was episode 15. Can you guys believe that? 15 whole episodes?
Like I said, man, I'll be excited when we reach triple digits.
Triple digits. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's it. I really don't have anything else to say besides everything that I have already said. So I guess we're just gonna end it.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all next Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday, I guess, and then I'll see y'all if you want to come in to my Twitch. I'll be streaming on Monday.